All right, y'all. We gotta talk. We gotta talk. What do we gotta talk about? What do we gotta talk about? You guys already know what we gotta talk about. We gotta talk about that DualSense controller. I got thoughts. I got some thoughts. And I'm gonna tell you guys about them right after this. Alright, so unless you guys have been living under a rock or haven't been on the internet for the last couple of days, Sony decided to unveil their new DualSense controller for their PlayStation 5. And it looks okay. It's interesting. It's not bad. It's just interesting. It's like a white Xbox One controller and a black DualShock 4 controller got together and had a beautiful baby thing. So if the controller is white, does that mean that the console is gonna be white? We'll see. But I gotta say, Sony, I don't know about that one, man. What? You got something against black consoles now? Why couldn't you go back with the black console? What are you trying to say? Don't look at me, I'm asking you. What's the problem? What's the problem? I'm just joking. It looks fairly similar to the DualShock 4 controller, but there are a couple differences to note. The touchpad protrudes a little bit, so it's easier to press down. There isn't a share button anymore. Sony's calling it the create button. And instead of the light bar being on the top of the controller, they kind of embedded it in the controller itself, which I think looks pretty cool actually. The back triggers and the back buttons look a little bit thicker, and the controller itself looks a little bit thicker as well. Some of the key features about the controller are the haptic feedback, the Tempest audio tech engine, the built-in microphone, which I think is pretty nice actually, adaptive back triggers, and better battery life. That's important. The DualShock 4 controllers weren't terrible on battery life, but they could have been a lot better in my opinion. But I feel like with all of these new features, it's probably gonna be fairly expensive. I'd say at least $70 if I had to guess. I mean, looking at it, you can tell this thing's gonna be fairly expensive. Not too expensive, but it's gonna be expensive. It'll be interesting to see what Sony actually does with the controller when the new console actually comes out, and how they will actually incorporate features like the Tempest 3D audio tech engine and the adaptive triggers into next-gen games. The longer you stare at it, the better the controller starts to look. It's kind of weird. Maybe Sony designed it like that on purpose because they knew it was going to look kind of weird at first. So the memes about this controller have been pretty cool too. I've seen a good amount of memes about this thing. Some of them are actually made me laugh pretty hard. I do think it's cool that they are innovating though. Like the first 3 generations of PlayStation was DualShock. They all look the same. They all pretty much function the same. The only difference between DualShock 2 and 3 was DualShock 3 was wireless. But, you know, otherwise, you could barely tell them apart, honestly. So it's cool that they are keeping things going, keeping things interesting. All in all, I think the controller is a step in the right direction. They could certainly tweak it a little bit more, but for right now, I think it's in a pretty good place. But it better come in red at some point. Sony, I know you see me. I know you're watching. But hey, that's just my input. But what do you guys think? Do you like this new DualShock? DualSense. I'll get it right. I promise. What do you guys think of this new DualSense controller? Is it good? Is it bad? Let me know down in the comments. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. But if you disliked it, you can do that too. But let me know what I can do better so I can make these videos even more awesome, and the channel even more awesome than that. One last thing, consider subscribing if you really like these videos. And if you do, make sure you take something hard and sturdy like this DualShock 4 controller. Yeah, you see what I did there. And hit that notification bell so you never miss out. Until next time, guys, I'm Daniel saying pieces, deuces, and everything in between.